what else connects the Filipinos and Palestinians up until today. For one, there's the purchase and the use of arms by the Philippine state forces from Israel, resulting in severe violence and suffering for Filipinos. After being tested in Palestinians, these arms are being used against us. I am Raul, a member of the Philippine Parliament representing the Youth Party. By looking back at our long history of colonization and our struggle against colonizers, we can understand the similarity between our two countries. Hence, the solidarity of the Filipino people to the Palestinian people. So, Spain colonized the Philippines. After the Philippines declared independence from Spain, Spain simply ignored and sold the Philippines to the US for $20 million under the Treaty of Paris. Until 1902, the US continuously invaded the Philippines. Then in 1941, it was Japan that invaded us and colonized us until 1945. Meanwhile, on the part of the Palestinians, they have been suffering from the occupation of Zionist Israel. Similar to our Treaty of Paris, the UK signed the Balfour Declaration in 1917, paving the way for the start of illegal occupation in Palestine on May 15, 1948. Like Filipinos, the Palestinians have been fighting for freedom and calling for the right to live safely and with dignity in their own country. Besides history, what else connects the Filipinos and Palestinians up until today? For one, there's the purchase and the use of arms by the Philippine state forces from Israel, resulting in severe violence and suffering for Filipinos. After being tested in Palestinians, these arms are being used against us. The Philippines is the third largest country in terms of the amount spent on purchasing arms from Israel. From 2018 to 2022, the Philippines spent 275 million US dollars on such arms deals. And among the arms purchased by the Philippines from Israel are 13 Hermes 900 drones. So the Hermes 900 drones are used in various military operations. It was first used by Israel in 2014 against the people of Gaza, where 2,000 Palestinians were killed and 10,000 more were injured. On December 25 and 26, 2023, so that's supposed to be a very peaceful time because it's Christmas time, but the 403rd Infantry Brigade of the 4th Infantry Division in the Philippines, the armed forces, they conducted very deadly, disproportionate aerial bombardment in the city of Malaybalay. It's located in the province of Bukidnon in Mindanao. What they used for such deadly aerial bombardment was multiple 250-pound bombs and artillery rounds from the Israeli company Sultan Systems. That's a continued experience of violence. It is also not new that Israeli experts train Filipino state forces. Unfortunately, according to a 2002 report, the Philippine National Police has long been trained by Israeli anti-terrorism experts. In 2019, there was a meeting between the PNP and the Israeli Defense Force regarding what they call counterterrorism training. And such a training was launched just 1 month after officials from the two countries had a discussion. So in training the Philippine police, they became more brutal in their treatment of Filipino civilians. Apart from the bloody war on drugs under the administration of Rodrigo Duterte, police have committed widespread violence against civilians during the COVID-19 pandemic and during protests on Labor Day and other significant dates of protest. So all those partnerships against the Philippine and Palestinian people became possible because the Duterte and the Netanyahu governments shared an alliance. In 2018, a four-day meeting between former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took place from September 2 to 5. The meeting aimed to strengthen and uphold the authoritarian rule of the Duterte regime with the backing of the Israeli state. fostering a partnership between the two repressive governments. With 60% of Israeli weapons exports currently destined for the Asia-Pacific region, the meeting facilitated more arms deals and accelerated the suppression of marginalized and oppressed sectors in the Philippines while enriching Israeli defense contractors. The visit of Duterte to Israel marked the first time, actually, that a Philippine head of state had been hosted by the Israeli government since diplomatic relations were established 60 years ago. The meeting between the two of them underscored a shared goal of defending their political power and the interests of the elite through increased collaboration. Duterte's campaigns against the people, fake and anti-poor war on drugs, the brutal counterinsurgency efforts, and the attacks against indigenous people through martial law in the island of Mindanao, he sought the support of states like Israel. The Duterte regime continued to receive U.S. military funding and aid, and he even directed his military leadership to purchase weapons and the military equipment exclusively from Israel due to the fewer limitations, as they say. In 2017, the Philippines became a major new client by purchasing 21 million US dollars worth of radar and anti-tank equipment used to bolster Duterte's repression campaigns. Additionally, the Duterte regime acquired Israeli-made assault rifles for its drug squads that were accountable for roughly the 30,000 casualties based on independent estimates. With Israel being complicit in the agenda of Duterte, he pledged to reciprocate and he said that, and I quote, Israel can expect any help that the Philippines can extend, end of quote. While there is such a position by the top officials of the Philippine government, still we, the Filipino people, organizations, people's organizations, really take note of the shared history and the shared continuing struggle of the Filipino people and the Palestinians. Because after the Duterte administration, there is still the common thread between the forces of the Israeli state and the Marcos Jr. regime. Both are backed by the U.S. military apparatus. This is why agencies of the executive branch, like the Departments of Interior, the Department of Environment, and the Department of Education had collaborations with Israel under the current administration. So this gives the Filipino people more reasons to exhaust both domestic and international avenues with the oppressed peoples to pursue justice and accountability. At the international level, given the war crimes and crimes against humanity committed under Benjamin Netanyahu's leadership, we freedom and peace-loving Filipinos support the call for the International Criminal Court and the member states to ensure the arrest of Netanyahu, just as the ICC did with Rodrigo Duterte. It is high time to hold high-ranking officials accountable. That is crucial for us to deter future abuses and to end the pervasive culture of impunity. And the international action on Netanyahu